The reason why adolescence is a very important time in a girl's life, for me, I think the first important thing is that that's the time transition between being a child and being an adult. It's a lot of changes taking place within her, mentally, psychologically, emotionally. And she struggles in understanding it and relating with it and dealing with it. So it's a very challenging period for a young girl, and therefore it is extremely important to be able to work with her to get her to understand what is happening to her and how she should relate to it and how she can handle it, and also for society to know that she's changing. And in the course of that change, she's moving to adulthood, to independence, to be able to ability to think for herself and make her own decisions. So it's a very challenging period. It's a transformative period in a girl's life. And so for me, I think it's extremely important. People don't understand the challenges that goes through a child at that age, where she moves to adulthood, where she can make her own decision. They don't recognize them and put them on the table. They don't listen to them. They don't understand them. And so decisions are made for them, but decisions are not made with them. And therefore, a lot of the outcomes of this decision does not reflect or address the challenges that these people feel. So I think it's extremely important for people to be able to understand what happens and how can you respond to the problems that they face and be able to address those problems, because they are the future leaders. I see it every day. Young girls who drop out of school, young girls who cannot relate to their parents, young girls who my society doesn't know how to respond to. And I talk to them, and for me, it's an awakening. I met a lot of young girls. You know, I worked with the Yazidis, I met girls in Colombia, I met them in Damascus, and I just realized that we are talking to them. We're not talking with them. And I think for me, I said, with the experience I have got and the knowledge, it will help me if I can put my voice to be able, I cannot be a voice for them, is to help them bring their voice out. So every time I speak, I'll be able to get people to understand that you need to talk to these people, so that I can bring their opinion on the table and I get people to understand this is a very important constituency that is instrumental or important for us to be able to move to the future. The role of evidence is to inform, whether at the international level, whether at UN players, whether international NGOs, but most important, national governments. The leadership for Africa is in their 60s and 70s. The majority of the population is below 30. So there is a disconnect, a gap of almost 40 years. And so how can the leaders make policies that will reflect what's the wishes of the people down there? So the information, the evidence you're collecting will inform these people to be able to make sure they're moving in the wrong direction. And that is extremely important, because if they don't make decisions that actually affect the lives of these people, then it means they're doing the wrong thing. And I think that's the biggest gap in Africa, in my continent.